What is going on, everybody? It is David Palmer, the Leo King, and it is July the 5th of 2017. I went around and started telling people today, I was like, happy 5th, and they were looking at me like I was insane. But, you know, hope everybody had a great July 4th. Definitely had a different buzz to it than usual July 4th if you're from America. I know people from are all over the place around here, but you know what? It was definitely a buzzing July 4th. A lot of energy in the air, a lot of excitement, and, you know, this is quite a shifty week, you know. We've got some things to talk about this week with Mercury and Venus that have just moved signs here on Wednesday, and then a huge full moon, which will be happening Saturday night into Sunday morning, depending on where you are. So, I'm a day late, a buck short. No, I'm just kidding. I'm a day late just because yesterday was July 4th, and there was no way I was going to do a live stream on July 4th. Just too much going on. But I am here live in the studio today, and the best part is I am live here in the chat room. So if you want to be in the chat room, you know, I'm here for you. Make sure that you join me in the chat, and please share this video to get it all in here. I will be checking the chat. We've got a lot of people starting to build up in here. We're going to start sharing this on all the groups and stuff and get it going. But so what is July all about? You know, if you watch my monthly report, I really call it explosion, the manifestation for all your dreams to come true. And I really believe that. And I believe that there's a lot of energy going down right now when it comes to especially how we get ready for this massive, massive energy that is coming our way. And you can feel it if you really check deep within yourself. I think what the moon in Scorpio did beginning of this week was you can feel how intense things are about to get in all of our lives. And I think that this is a point to where we now need to shift from fear, okay, fear of the excitement from this change into just pure excitement of the change. You know, because I think that there's a lot when it comes to, I guess you could say, whenever we really start to have these big events start to culminate in our lives, there's a little bit of a hesitation to accept them into our lives because there's the comfort aspect. Remember, we're in the sun in Cancer right now. There's Mars in Cancer. We just finished Mercury today. Mercury just entered into Leo, so we're going to talk about that today. But there's a lot about how do we really start to feel comfortable in our lives? And how do we feel comfortable with change? And how do we feel comfortable with these things that we want to do and these things that we want to achieve and these places that we want to go and these really important things that we want to do? And that's what this lesson in the beginning of July has really been about. And it's interesting to see some of the stuff going on. So, of course, let's take a look at the Leo King's live chart. I just ran this chart literally. Oh, what time is it? Oh, it's 6. Oh, my gosh. I ran it 50 minutes ago or 40 minutes ago or something. Yeah. But we're around the same energy zone. Mercury just entered Leo. And we just had Venus yesterday enter into Gemini. So if you notice, we got this Mercury-Venus aspect going on in positivity. It's a 60-degree sextile. And more importantly, it's in a fire and air sign, Gemini and Leo, which like to play and have fun. So yes, Venus likes to be in Taurus, where it's really feels good. It could take a break. And Mercury's not too happy in Cancer. I mean, because it could drown out and let emotions overwhelm. You know, sometimes it's that slap in the face, like, get out, snap out of it, you know, relax. Like, you know, it's just this thing, like, chill out. Mercury in Leo is all about positivity, fun, and excitement, and especially Venus in Gemini wants to go play. So there's this aspect of now people wanting to go play and wanting to go figure out how to have fun again. And now that the moon's in Sagittarius and all this fire energy is starting to come up again, and air energy, because remember, we got Jupiter in air. We've got Mercury now in fire. We got the North Node in fire. We got Saturn in fire. You know, we got some good energy coming. And it's some positive energy that has turned here on Wednesday. But it's still, I don't want to say, it's not like it's dragging ass, because, you know, I'll be honest, it could feel like it's really dragging ass with Mars in Cancer. Mars in Cancer can kind of drag ass a little bit. Mars in Cancer can kind of take a while, take its toll on people. It can be hard to get that extra energy to keep moving forward and to keep going. It's like, gosh, can I really do this? And this Mercury and Venus now that have moved into Leo and that have moved into Gemini is about changing your state of mind now to a positive one. Sure, uncomfortable feelings are going to come up in life. That's normal. That's part of life, baby. But how you now deal with those is going to be saturating it with fun, saturating it with the right mental attitude, and saturating it with remembering what's important, appreciating what is good, appreciating what is exciting. We can spend all of our energy, our perception, our time, our life, our emotions on being a Debbie Downer, on what isn't working, on what doesn't feel good, on what we're afraid of. But now that the energy is changing for this week, you must in the middle, because let's just be real, okay? You're in the middle. Let's throw this away so you can actually see here. You are in the middle of the Sun and Mars in Cancer. The Sun is only halfway through Cancer. We are reaching now some of this more peaked out energy of high intense emotions, uncomfortable energy, Mars trying to drag through. But Mercury and Venus are saying, hey, it's okay to have crazy emotions. Just keep on that positive trail. Appreciate what's good in your life. Look at all the great things. Why do you think Jupiter's in Libra? And it's making its final quincunx? Well, it's pretty much done. Jupiter's moving forward. Neptune's moving backwards. So, you know, we've kind of hit this odd, weird angle in life, okay? That we have had a perception issue going on, especially with weird, fearful emotions. Moon was just in Scorpio, and we've got all this stuff going on here, and the Sun and Mars are in the middle of, right, the opposition to Pluto. The Sun's starting to approach Pluto, and that's what this full moon's going to be about. Fear. Fear, fear, fear. Everything is about fear. This whole summer is about fear. Now, I would have actually thought, when I look back at astrology and I look at 2015 and the summer of 2015, that was about fear as well. That was about actually feeling the fear in your face, like getting bitch slapped by fear. This is us bitch slapping fear back in its face, but also in a way that's respectable and says, no, thank you. I'm going to go live my life and courage and live in a positive place. This full moon is about triggering fear. So let's pull up the full moon real quick, why don't we? I want to pull up the full moon. Let's just go to the good stuff. I just only want to go to the good stuff in life. Screw the negative. No, I'm just kidding. The negative teaches us a lot. But you know what? It's time for us to focus on, you know, what is this positive road? And what is, you know, what is the thing that makes us get off our track of our positivity, our light, our ability to get through heavy, dark, spiritually debilitating fears and emotions? Because that is what is in the background while there's the excitement to do these things in life that we want to do, that we want to pursue. It's almost like, how do we get through that? Well, this full moon's going to bring it up. Let's take a look at it right now. So the full moon's happening July 8th at 11:06 p.m. and Pacific, July 9th at 2:06 a.m. Eastern, okay? And this full moon is pretty much on Pluto, right? I showed the moon-Pluto conjunction in here. So it's actually happening a little bit earlier, but like an hour earlier, but it's still on Pluto. And I wanted to show this on Pluto because look at a full moon directly on Pluto. The sun's at 1714. We're only 1 degree off Pluto. This is about the fears to move forward. Capricorn is a sign that's a cardinal sign. It's about moving forward in life, and it's about risk, okay? Now, Mars and the sun in Cancer do not want to take risk in life. No, 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 no risk, no risk. I want to stay safe. I want to stay at the bottom of the mountain with chips and cookies and a bed and food and water and a shower in the morning and to feel great. I want to feel good. And God, trust me, I get it. I get it. It's scary sometimes taking big risks in life and facing extreme fears that deal with risk. Risk, there's the old term of risk equals reward, right? Okay. I believe that when you actually take in consideration this full moon, you don't have to sacrifice all your securities, all your emotions to risk it all. This is about learning. It's about how to know your emotional limits and know, more importantly, how bad do you want something and how far are you willing to go? That's really what this is about. Not everybody's equipped to go all the way as much as some other person, or another person might go another way. I know, for example, if I were out fishing, okay, on a boat, I don't know how long I'd want to be out there sitting, just standing on a boat fishing. I don't know how far I'd want to go. That's not comfortable to me, just sitting on a boat doing this. I don't get seasick, but it messes with my equilibrium. I'd be bored. I'd rather do something else, where I'm a little bit more edged out, and more intense. But some people might want to go on the longest trip of their life, and this is the time where they do it, and this is the time. Whatever it is in your life, where I don't want to say limitations, but Pluto brings up the boundaries. Pluto brings up the desire. Pluto brings up the truth of your raw truth of what you really desire and want in your life. And with this big opposition to Cancer, this is going to look at what you're comfortable with doing and what you're not comfortable with doing. What's going to be sacrificed in your security and your emotional settings for where you're about to go and where you're about to embark in your life. And I guarantee you, this is asking you to see how far you're willing to go. How far are you willing to stretch your emotional capacity? Sometimes you can look at it as your personal life. Like, are you personally going to risk it for whatever, if it's a business venture or it's a goal or a hobby? The 10th house Capricorn rules things that are outside of your personal life. Cancer is your personal life. This is a battle. Remember, Mars and Pluto are best friends. They rule the same sign as Scorpio. This is a very scorpionic energy. Not only are you dealing with Pluto and Mars, okay, that are very scorpionic, but it's a full moon on top of Pluto, which adds to that, and then a full moon opposed Mars. So there's this scorpionic vibe, and Capricorn and Cancer are really about the bottom of the mountain and the top of the mountain. And how bad do you want to make it to the top? What are you willing to risk emotionally? What are you willing to risk at all? I mean, it's scary because extreme fears come up with this. Pluto brings up our deepest fear, especially the fear of really being honest for what we really want in our life. So on a whole separate notion, in a whole separate manner, if we take away accomplishment and we take away that, and we just look at a full moon on Pluto, doesn't matter what sign it is, doesn't matter where it is, this is a full moon that is going to bring up how you really feel and whether or not you're really ready to be honest with that feeling and how to take care of yourself better and how to deal with that feeling, how to deal with the truth of it. A lot of this is communication with Leo, because I think that having this Mercury now in Leo with the North Node in Leo is demanding that you really look deep in your heart and you know in your heart what it is you want. Everything is being unearthed by the moon, because the moon is like the tides. It's like literally pulling on Pluto. And pulling on Pluto is like bringing up every coffin in the world. Imagine if the Grim Reaper could just like pull every dead body out of the ground. Just, right? Like, that's a full moon on Pluto. It's the tides pulling on Pluto, and Pluto rules death. but it also rules the depths of the underworld. So the whole underworld's coming up. All your truth, all your shit that you know deep inside yourself. And I think it's a little bit of a wild one, to be honest with you, because you're not going to see it with Saturn and Sagittarius again, this full moon on Pluto with Mars opposing. You're not going to see it like this again, everyone. You're not going to see it where it's about, are you ready to venture out more and expand your life and realize that life isn't to be in the same place, at least at this moment, but that, gosh, you could just keep it growing and expanding more, and you can only do that by learning to loosen up your fears of your comfort zones and go for a little bit more right now. And I know that's scary for a lot of people because it's more natural for people to do the whole, oh, okay, I don't know if I'm going to do this. I don't know if I'm really ready to do this. Oh, my desire's this. I don't know if I'm really ready to tell this person that. I don't know if I'm ready to go on this new adventure in my life. I don't know if I'm really ready to, there's too many I don't knows and I don't know. And even though with Mercury and Leo now and Venus and Gemini, it's like Vegas where the lights are just glowing and, it's like, I really do want to go into that casino, but I don't know if I should. I don't know if I'm comfortable with it. I've been in the club business a long time, since I was literally a teen. And I used to have a fake ID and go to clubs. So I've been going to clubs a long time. I remember the uncomfort of walking into a club, when I was like 18 years old with a fake ID. That was like, wow, that was a very uncomfortable feeling. So it's weird, as a DJ, when I DJ at a club and I ask people to come, I'll invite, I don't know, let's say I invite 50 people. 20 of them will definitely come, but 30 of them won't come and all have some excuse like, oh, couldn't make it, I have work in the morning or whatever. 80 to 90% of that is because they're afraid of the insecurity of what it's like to walk into a club. They might think like, oh, there's a line. It's all, but when you do clubs your whole life, you realize it's just a fucking joke. It's just some guy in a fucking, suit that's just trying to get through his life. And he's just like, oh yeah, hey, come on in. Yep. Okay. It's super simple. It's like not that big a deal. There's this whole like illusion around things. And I think Neptune, now that it's retrograding, is starting to show us the illusions that we paint our pictures of our fears about before we enter into things. And because there's so much water and emotion right now, and then this full moon comes into Earth and reality and Capricorn, and you know what? It's like, are you going to get over those emotional humps and go towards what you really want and really push through a little uncomfortable moment for such a huge reward? Or are you going to not go and sit at home and not enjoy yourself, especially with Mercury and Leo now, and Venus and Gemini wanting to go and have fun and express itself and go to Vegas and do the party and life and live life. Live it. YOLO. This is a huge YOLO full moon. I'm going to call this one the YOLO full moon. It's the YOLO full moon. Did you know about that? YOLO. And if you don't know what that means, you only live once. Now, a lot of spiritual people believe, oh, no, that's not true. You don't live once. And I agree with that. But you only live once at this moment, right now, as I look at life like a record player. And this is either the first life that we're recording this or we're replaying it. I don't know. But either way, we're at this track on the record. Now, you can experience it fucking amazing and dance to it and love it and live it and breathe it, or you can keep your ears closed, or you can be busy, or no, I'm busy, I'm on my phone right now, I don't want to do this. And really, that's just uncomfortable. You know why people are always like this everywhere? This is how they deal with anxiety and stress. I want to zone out. I want to zone out. This is comfortable. The phone's comfortable. You can go into your own little world and completely Neptune out. Later. There's too much about this full moon that's bringing up true desires, true wants, true needs, true places you want to go. But are you willing to face the discomfort of overcoming your discomfort? Which in reality, when you're in it, when you're doing it, it's not uncomfortable anymore because you already went through the hump. It's this imaginary fear wall that everybody is like, that is culminating humongous right now over, oh, I don't know if I should do this yet. No, 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 no. Mars in Cancer becomes the wimp in Cancer. No, I'm not feeling good. No, my neck hurts. No, I'm not doing well. I had a bad IBS day today. No, I didn't. I have acid reflux. Can't do that one today. Can't go out to dinner. Got to eat my own food in my house tonight. All valid shit. I'll give you that. Okay? I'm not saying it's a bad thing, and I'm not saying that we all are there. When Mars is in Cancer, it's the big baby in the zodiac. No, I can't do it because of this. Trust me, I'm using analogies of shit that I've been going through myself. Oh, I got a race this Sunday. I don't know if I'm going to make it. My neck hurts. I cracked my rib 2.5 weeks ago, and it still hurts. I can't race. Oh, it's like, oh my God, man. It's like, it's like, how much more of a baby can we all be? How much more of our fears are we going to live our lives? Or are we just going to sit behind and watch it fly the fuck by and watch everybody else live it? This is a North Node in Leo now. You got to have some balls. And that balls is not, and ovaries, ladies, but that balls is not, you know, like being a dick. It's that internal, do you want to live your life and find love and fucking live it? Or do you just want to disconnect and be in the background and say, later, I'm not involved. I'm not going to be in this shit. I've got IBS today. And actually, that's not something I have. But I mean, I'm sorry for those that do. It's a very difficult thing to deal with. But at the end of the day, you can still continue with life. There are always alternatives. I think that what this full moon is also realizing with Saturn in Sagittarius is there are a million jillion different options. So we'll use IBS as the issue. And if you don't know what that is, it's irritable bowel syndrome. You probably have horrible farts and you might even not have solid shit. And you're a young person and you're not drinking enough fiber. I don't know, but you got IBS, okay? There are IBS medications. Maybe you could talk to a grandparent who knows how to deal with it. There are diapers that you can buy. I mean, I can go on for, you know, a million miles. You could duct tape your butt through the experience that you got to go through. You could buy softer toilet paper. You could, at least if you're spending half of your time on the toilet, go buy one of the, I saw last night on July 4th, I was at my buddy's dad's house. He has these freaking amazing toilets with LED lights in them where you light it up and you pull up the toilet. I mean, there's a million things in any of our situations that we call ourselves a baby in and we're crying about to fix it. My issue is I have neck and shoulder and lungs or rib shit. I went to Walgreens today and bought ice packs and this, and I'm going to figure it out. Cancer is about learning to take care of ourselves, but not with a full moon in Capricorn pulling out. Because Capricorn is saying, no, we got to do this. And there's a lot of fear in a lot of people. I don't know if I want to do this. I don't know if this is and even though you know it's the truth, even though you know it's what you really want, are you going to deny your desires, your wants, your needs, your for the life you could freaking live? Or are you going to just completely go, no, and pull out, I'm a baby, and oh, I got IBS, and then no shit comes at night, you know? It's one of those things where it's like, oh man, it didn't even come. Because usually it's the IBS that's caused just by stress of you worrying about it anyway. It's a good excuse or a good way of looking at IBS. But anything, you know, whatever it is. Oh, my friend, you know, he's being critical of me about this. Or, oh, my family member's being critical of me about this. And, it puts me in a bad mood and blah, blah, blah. Okay. Does that stop you from showing up? Like Capricorn, remember when Capricorn shows up, it's a boss like, okay, that's great. when are you going to go back to your desk and work? That's a full moon in Capricorn with Mars and the sun and Cancer. It's like, okay, I've heard it all. So you're off at 5, right? That means you got 3 hours left. You know, it's like staying on track while nursing yourself. You can nurse yourself and get what you need to get done. Trust me on that. I will roll all the dice on that one. Woo! You can take care of whatever is going on in your life and still do what you got to do and take that risk and go. And in the middle of it all, take care of yourself. It's Cancer. Take a little extra nap if you need to. Massage some essential oils on your back if you need to. You know, go get a massage. Go whatever, but don't bail. This is the end of Saturn in Sagittarius, folks. Saturn turns around in August, and then it leaves in December, and it ain't coming back for 27 years. Ain't coming back. And then Saturn comes into Capricorn, which guess what Capricorn is? Oh, hi. That's nice. You know, I'm trying to use a movie analogy. It's like when you show up at a jail, let's say. A good thing because Capricorn can rule jails, even though the 12th house rules it, but Capricorn can in its own ways, more like prison camps. So you show up to the prison camp and you're like, yeah, so I'd like some hot water and a green tea, please. And, you know, I wear a medium. If you give me a large, they'll just sag on the ground. And I also need like 8 hours of sleep. And I would like it if the noise was turned down, please, right? That's very Cancer, right? Well, when Saturn comes into Capricorn, it's out of Sagittarius, it's going to be straight up like, oh, that's nice. Here's your large pants. Oh, we play music all night, by the way, because it keeps everybody hyped up that's working the other shift. We're not going to make it quieter for you. Sorry. And you got to get the work done. And if you don't get the work done, we're going to whip the shit out of you every day. Oh, okay, great. I mean, you won't get paid nothing. Okay, thank you. You know, this is an opportunity for you to learn to get over your fears. So when the big stuff comes over the next couple years of your life and the things that you desire and the things that you want, you are going to be able 100% to know how to take care of yourself, figure out how to get through any weird situation or fear, and still manage to get to where you want to go in your life. That's what this full moon is. It is the YOLO full moon. And this is a opening or a window because after this full moon, guess what happens during the 2-week period between the full moon, okay, and the new moon, which is going to have Mars conjunct in Leo. And at 0 degrees, remember there are 2 new moons in Leo this year, and one's an eclipse. So this is the preparation for dreams. You can't get to dreamland or fantasyland or Disneyland, however you want to look at it, if you can't get over these fears and learn how to take care of yourself and still get through it. But if you bail or back out, I guarantee it. Sound like the Men's Warehouse guy. I guarantee it, you will hate your life. This is also going to be the true test of integrity. This is Capricorn. And guess what? Those people in your life, this is also a South Node in Aquarius. It's going to show you who is of integrity and who is not. The people who bail on situations that were supposed to be there and whatever, it'll all come out. You'll see who's been not knowing how to take care of themselves and face fear and go through it, even though they'll give you every excuse in the book. Mars in Cancer is the excuse king. Oh, ran out of gas and it was just too much for me, man. I have too much on my mind. I couldn't make it. I'm sorry. It's the excuse king. Because Mars finds every emotional color to find a reason of why it should stop and take a break. You know what? That leaves me for the perfect moment to segue into taking a quick 1-minute break. So I will be back in 1 minute.
The Leo King app is the world's first and leading video and notification astrology horoscope app for iPhone, Android, and computer. Get daily spiritual videos and addictingly accurate notifications alongside weekly sun sign horoscopes, tarot videos, and exciting new age entertainment videos by celebrity astrologer and TV personality David Palmer, the Leo King. Join today. You have nothing to lose with a 7-day free trial and wake up to astrology like you've never seen before.
Wake up to astrology like you've never seen before. I know it might sound harsh. Capricorn is harsh. Capricorn doesn't really accept a lot of things, especially excuses of why things can't get done. So this makes for quite a very difficult full moon. Because literally when you have this kind of an issue, I mean, it literally is about not letting excuses rule your world. Sorry, I'm moving a little camera action there. And not being afraid. Because we only do live at this moment right now and in this present moment. And there's too many awesome things right now. And the dark wants you to fail. And all it has to do is scare you. That's all it has to do. And this energy is about learning to overcome your fears. Because this summer really is about overcoming fear and really seeing how positive life is when you overcome fear, and how the breakthrough and the most best feelings of love, happiness, light, positivity, and fulfillment are when we overcome our fears. And this full moon triggers a subconscious part of ourselves, because Pluto is subconscious, of where our fears are that don't allow us to really reach as high as we want to reach in our life. And where we tell ourselves excuses with the full moon opposing and lighting up Mars and Cancer. Oh, yeah, I've got all those baby excuses that come up of why I can't reach to this space. And so it can be very difficult for people because it's scary to deal with these things in life. And I know they're all valid points. You know, you're talking to somebody who's got mad anxiety disorder. So it's taken me years to find out how to get through a day without tripping out. Like there was days where I trip out probably every 5 minutes. Then it got to maybe every 10 minutes. Then it got to every 30 minutes. Then it got to every hour. Then it got to every 2 hours. Then it got to every 3 hours. Then it got to every 4 hours. Then it got to every 5 hours. And you know what I mean? Now it's gotten to like where it's like, okay, maybe I'm at like maybe every day or 2 days that I might have a little anxiety episode. And then I go, oh, okay, I'm fine. Let me get back on it. This is us rewiring our heart to not be surrounded by fear. This is us rewiring our soul to be okay with facing fear and knowing how to take care of ourselves while we go through the experience. You can face fear and have a sidekick with everything you need, like a little ice chest. So if it's hot and the fear is hot, you got ice water right there to keep going through. But don't stop, keep going. Don't pull yourself back and go, oh no, I can't, it's too hot, I'm done. You've got the ice water right there, pour it on your head. Like this is a time to realize you have everything you need. And I'm not even just talking in the physical, the metaphysical. You have God, you have your angels. You need to ask that more. Neptune's retrograde now. It's made a very powerful quincunx over to Jupiter. You have to pray. You have to believe. You have to get deeper in prayer right now. This Jupiter-Neptune, aspect is about deeper and more meaningful and more beautiful prayer. You know, prayer delivers. And prayer is your number one aspect when you're in the middle of fear to get through something. Pray to God. Pray to your angels. Ask for guidance. Ask for help. And trust 100% that no matter what happens in the middle of that fear, you tell yourself YOLO, you tell yourself we're going to get through this, and you tell yourself, you know what? I got this. We got this. I know God's got my back. I know my angels got my back. And just push through that little uncomfortable space. And guess what? Once you reach that other side, it's like, what was I tripping on? And that's when the sparks fly. You know, this is a full moon with a Mercury and Venus aspect. That's asking for us to not be afraid of the glitz and the light and the power and the beauty and the excitement and the energy that comes with it. I just worry about people on this full moon of backing out of some of the biggest things that they could ever do because they were afraid to face their fear. So we're going to turn to the chat room real quick, see what's going on in there, and then I'll pull a card before we roll out. And actually, while I'm waiting for people in the chat room to basically tell me what's going on, because I'm in the chat. Let's see. I'm in the chat. I want to remind people of a couple things before we roll. So, number one is, if you want to find out more about July and how to truly handle this energy as I go play by play, day by day, and I even do a graph that I do, a line graph showing the days and the energy of how intense it's going to be, download my July 2017 horoscope explosion, the catalyst to manifesting your dreams, because that is what is coming here near the end of July with all this Leo energy that is going down. And of course, Leo King Elite, we are almost full. I still have, I think, 20 more spots left for Leo King Elite. This is there if you want to join my Lightworker School, if you want to join Tier 1, the basics of astrology, the intermediate, or if you want to go Tier 3 and Tier 4, which literally is to become a certified Leo King reader, be a reader on my network, where I'm going to pick some of my best students for this new app that I'm building, a whole new spiritual site, or if you want to learn how to create your own Lightworker business and make Lightwork better and more powerful, this is the course for you. It is 4 weeks long. It has assignments, tests, live video. You're going to be communicating with other people and learning how to do it. It literally is a master class. You can look at everything there, leokingelite.com. We have payment plan options that you can pay through each week if you need to over the time of this class. It is definitely an awesome class. You can watch the video where I talk all about it, leokingelite.com. Let's get back to that chat room now. How do you pray? Do you have a format that you use? Thanks, Andrea. Well, I'm pretty old school and traditional. I have always been a kneeler, so I get on my knees, and I usually kneel in front of my bed before I go to sleep is my main prayer. I always start with gratitude. So I always believe that gratitude is the most best attitude. And I feel that prayer with gratitude always reinforces that everything's great and that everything is abundant. But it also is reminding God of the appreciation of why you're here. Because I am a big believer that God wants us to know, and it's taught in the Bible and it's taught in a lot of other, religious aspects, that I believe that gratitude and showing that humble gratitude to God is, I know it might not seem like the biggest of things, but God doesn't ask too much from us. I believe that God has given us one of the greatest gifts in the world, this eternal life that we live. And we get that eternal life through God. And I feel that that gratitude on a daily basis to God in prayer is our payment in a way, even though God doesn't ask for a payment except to truly, and I believe in my belief structure, you must believe in God, like you must accept there's a God. I mean, Christ talks about this. I do have an altar. Before I got married, I used to sit at my altar all the time and pray when I lived alone and when I was in solitude a lot. And so I would light incense. I also have some dragon's blood that I would put in like a cauldron and heat that up, or I'd heat incense up if I wanted to do a very deep prayer about something deep in my life. But I always pray about gratitude, loving, and praying for my family, my friends, and everybody that I know in the world. And I pray for the world a lot. I pray for all humans a lot to make sure that everybody's feeling okay, that everybody's fine, that their health's fine. My grandma, when I was young, used to come to my bedside and we would pray when I would stay at one of my grandma's house. And she was Christian Science, and she would pray, and it would be like one of the longest prayers, right? We'd pray for everybody in the family, my dad, my mom, my cousins, everybody, right? We'd pray about everybody. And I remember as a kid, being like, wow, that's a long prayer here. It's like 2.5 minutes long. I'm just ready to go to bed. Or can I play with the nightlight again? Or bright lights or whatever they were. I forgot what they called it. Nightlight or bright, or I don't know. I used to love that game, I remember, in that room. But I get it now that I'm older that she did that. And it really does pay off. So I think it's a great question. Now, when I need help through situations and I ask, I always start with gratitude, but then I'm not also afraid to ask God for help. Can you guide me with the light, God? Can you show me how I can get through this? And if you can assist me and if you can show up, please show up for me. I will show up for you in all ways that I can, with acknowledging you, with loving you and giving you gratitude. And please help me. And I know you'll help me either way. I'm just wanting the clarification, and I'm wanting to re-clarify my gratitude for you. It's basically always re-clarifying gratitude and then asking for something in exchange. And I believe that it's an exchange. I always tell people when I do readings for them and I see some very difficult Neptune or 8th house stuff, especially Neptune 8th house stuff, you got to have a contract with God. It's just like the way when you go buy a car, you got a contract, these are the terms, these are the payments, and you're going to show up and you're going to do this. And it's a great deal, and you're not going to have the bank calling you. You're not going to get the car repossessed. You're not going to have a bad credit score, and you're not going to have a bunch of hell in your and you're going to have a car that you can drive around and go on trips and camp with or whatever. But when you have a contract with God and you don't show up and you don't pray, you don't do your God work, you don't do your positive service, you don't do your light work, you don't do your love, let's be real. Do you think you're fulfilling your contract here? So, anyway, that's how I pray, Andrea. So, okay, here's an astrology question from Nicole. If a planet is 1 degree in a sign, should it be considered as the sign before it? Example, Sun 1 degree Virgo would really be Leo? No, it's 100% in Virgo. Even cusps, you're in that sign. Now, I always describe a cusp as like being in an apartment. So when I lived in Hollywood and they were very thin walls, my apartment was built in like the 40s, Sonny and Cher literally did I Got You, Babe, in that apartment building. No bullshit. So I lived in this old Hollywood apartment on one of the oldest streets in Hollywood, so it was really thin walls. Now, being born on a cusp is like, I don't want to say it's like being born on the wall. You're born in a room, but you literally have your ear on the wall and you can hear everything that's being said in that other sign. But you're not in that room. You're not in there. You're still in the room that's in front of you, and you have a whole view of the whole sign in front of you. Now, when you're born in the middle of a sign, you're born in the middle of the room. So you really can't hear that other room beside you, and you can't hear that other sign there either. But you know the room to the middle. You know the smell of the room. You know everything about the room. You know every corner and everything. There's kind of like a hopeful aspect of a new sign. So if you're a 0 or 1 degree, it's like, look at the room that I'm going to figure out this life. When you're at the end of the sign, you're like, I've already mastered this room. And you're looking back and you're looking forward for what's the next room and what's the next challenge. There's always kind of a older, kind of more, with edgy, older signs or later degrees. Here's a question. How do you heal through Chiron? So Chiron is a weird one because you usually heal through facing pain. And accepting pain as no pain, no gain in a way. But learning to continue with your life with pain instead of stopping. Chiron doesn't stop because it's been wounded. Chiron keeps doing its job of healing other people and helping other people, even though itself, it should take care of himself, but it still keeps going. Or it's, you know, kind of like a war hero who like just blew off his leg and he's still gonna go. Or Chiron is Forrest Gump. Chiron is Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump, when he's in Vietnam and he's running, he's like, oh, I gotta go save Lieutenant Dan. And he gets shot in the butt already, and he's still saving everybody, and he's got a butt. He got shot in his butt. Doesn't stop him from saving everyone. All the other people go, don't go, don't go. Let that person die. That's what Chiron is where people get to Chiron, and Chiron comes to return, or it squares a planet or everything, and you get to this place, you're like, I don't know if I can do this shit. I'm fucked up. I'm not ready to keep moving forward. Holy shit. And it's like, no, yeah, keep going, keep helping, keep doing your thing, keep doing your positive aspect, keep doing that thing. That's what Chiron does. And Chiron will teach you, wow, really, maybe it wasn't that bad. Because it helps you overcome your own wounds and your own healing, and helps others and helps the other people with their healing, that you overcome your own. That's my Chiron talk. And Chiron kind of is Forrest Gump because of his life. He's kind of odd and kind of weird, and he does things in his own weird way. And he's got his own wounds that he deals with his father and with Jenny, you know, like, and how like she doesn't love him, but then she only loves him when she gets HIV and she needs a fucking place to live, you know. But he still shows up with his heart and his love and keeps doing it. And guess what he gets paid off with? That stock with Apple. There's this company that was like of a fruit, and it's Apple Computer, and he becomes a millionaire. And then he gets to create the Bubba Gump Shrimp. And even though Bubba's dead and died in the war, he still creates the Bubba Gump Shrimp Company, and then gets Lieutenant Dan to save his life and help him. Chiron is the story of Forrest Gump, and whether or not you're willing to continue to help and serve and love others while at the same time dealing with your own crap and not showing that crap on other people. For some reason, Forrest Gump never shows his crap on people. Like, this guy gets totally ruined by Jenny, and he just whatever. I mean, when the Black Panthers show up and they mistreat, and he has that one guy mistreat Jenny, he punches him. That one white dude that was like her boyfriend, and who was I forgot what he was, but he was like a rep. You know, he was against the war. You know, and he shows it. You know, but he doesn't show it in the moments where he's at his weak spot. Anyway. And he was, yeah. Okay, somebody put, and he was a Pong star. Don't forget about that. Woo! He was a Pong star. And he was the biggest runner in the world, right? Or ran the most of anybody. All right, I'm gonna answer this question because this person said, I'm sitting here being nervous to ask a question. So I'm gonna answer this one because we're talking about fear. This is a YOLO episode, and this one's about fear and getting through fear. I'm sitting here being nervous to ask this question. Your advice has always been pretty dead on. Thanks. I've been out of commission for 3 years recovering from cancer surgery and a pulmonary embolism. I'm so sorry to hear that. I want to start teaching primitive survival skills through YouTube, but I'm fearful of the weight I've gained not being able to move much. How do you talk to the camera and all of us so easily? Well, I'm going to find a way to relate with you here, Jay. I'm sorry about your health problems. I'm sorry about how you haven't been able to move and how it's affected your weight. But I can relate with you that most people won't believe that I was the shyest kid on the block. Ask my mother, ask my family. My mom used to have to order my food for me. So like I would go, Mom, I want that. And then my mom would go, and he'll take this. And I'd be like, oh, thanks. And then it used to be to where I'd walk into a place, and if like my parents were there, somebody, and they asked me a question, I wouldn't know what to say. I would just kind of be like, yes. You know, like, what? Hello, kid, listen. And so for me, I was just shy of communicating. I didn't know how to communicate. And I think what made it so easy was facing my fear of communication. So when I was in school and they would call on me to read, I would read. I would just say, okay, I'll read, and I would read. I would always just do whatever I could to let my message be heard, no matter if people didn't like it or not. And I think for me, what's made it easy for me is I have a message. And mine's about positivity always. Sometimes I can get kind of harsh. Sometimes I can get kind of real. That's a little bit too much for people and push them away. And I get it. And I'm not perfect. But as long as I'm getting my message out, and that's that message of positivity and God. And as I'm talking to you right now, Jay, I'm looking at a sign that's my spiritual dance music here in my live stream studio. And it says dance in the light. And the word light is right there. And it's about light. At the end of the day, I know I've got a light inside of me. And I know ever since I was a kid, I wanted to spread it. And when people thought I was a dork in high school because I played water polo, and even though the girls liked it because we were in Speedos, but the guys thought we were dorks. And I was like a student and I really didn't party. And, you know, like that nerdy part of me, like I just knew I had something special, and it was love. You know, it was about loving others and loving the world and loving. And if you have that and you find that in you, it doesn't matter what you look like, what you've been through, because that's the job. That's the job, is to spread love and to spread light on the planet. And I believe that's why God put us here, because that brings everything into your life. And that will make you successful on YouTube. It's what's made me successful. And so speaking so easily for me comes from, well, I got my job to spread positivity and to spread light and spread information. And that information is important to me. And after nonstop doing it, because I'll be honest with you, Jay, I've been doing this 5.5 years every day, like with a video every day out. Like if you're on the app, you get a video every day. And it's literally 4 to 5 minutes long, full studio. So it's like every day I've been doing a video. I've never missed my dailies. I've missed one in all those years, 5.5 years. And after 5.5 years and multiple reality shows and television shows and facing my fear in front of camera constantly in that shyness and just pushing through. And, you know, I was just talking, somebody wants to do an event with me in Florida. And we had a long talk today right before this, and was asking me if I wanted to go do there and talk about some of my past events. And I did this one event with John Edward once, the psychic. I don't know if any of you guys remember that. And I had to fly to Atlanta, and he invited me out, and I did this awesome show with John, and there was like 2,500 people there. Now, I wasn't knowing what to expect. I was like thinking, you know, maybe we're going to a ballroom with like 200-300 people. I'm used to that. I'm used to like 200-400 people. But man, when I looked up and we were in the downtown Atlanta, and it was a full 2,500 people, and it's John Edward. I mean, you know, he's like the most famous psychic medium in the world. You know, it was like, I remember my arms, my hands, my lips, I was numb, and I was sitting in the corner tapping and pacing. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this shit right now, you know? And John's a very intense guy, and his guides are very strong. And so, you know, it's a very, and he's a medium. So now I'm entering into the medium world as an astrologer, and so the energy is different, you know? Even though I'm a psychic for a living and I do readings, I'm now aspecting that world, all the people, and I have to go up and talk astrology with a bunch of people that know John, not me, and it's his audience. So he let me be part of his audience, right? And I remember being so scared, but when I got up on that stage and I picked up the mic and I go, you're here to spread light. You're here to spread love. Just do that. The numbness came out of my mouth. The numbness came out of my hands, and I freaking just let it all out. And then John goes, do you want to tag team and do readings? And I'm like, sure, that's cool. Like, I'm down. And John's an amazing reader when it comes to just picking up on somebody's energy. Just like over there, this, what happened? And, you know, he's a medium, so he talks about how people died and their name and everything. And then I'd tag team it. We'd ask their birthday, and I'd tell them, oh, well, they're going. And then they would give me the dead relative's birthday, and then him and I tag teamed for like an hour. It was awesome. We did like, I think like 8 or 9 readings in that hour. And so I got over that fear, and I remember I left that night, and I was with John in the car, and I felt so much better that I had faced my fear to communicate. Now, that was the most, I would say, cameras are easy because the camera is not a person. Like, right now it says I got 634 people in here watching me. But, you know, if 634 people were in front of me, you know, it'd be a little bit more like, but a camera's a camera, you know? Like, it's just like, it's like, you know, I could just like be like, you know what I mean? Like, I can do whatever. It ain't going to bite back, you know? So go out there and spread that light to that camera because you know what? It will impact people. And it will, and it's important. And it's important to show that to people, and it's important to spread your information. And nobody's information is more important than the others. All of our information together is important. And it's important for you to get out there because there's something that I can learn, and there's something that all 636 people that are now in here can learn if you get that message out. But if you don't, we don't get it. All right, so I'll take like 2 more questions and then we're gonna roll. Let's see. So many astrology questions. I'm trying to keep this one more about fear. Somebody asked, how am I? It's a good question, but we won't make it about me today. Everybody wants to know about Planet X. All right. I've seen it now twice. I saw Nibiru, Planet X. What's my opinion about it? I mean, it's kind of hard when, you know, there's so much out there about Planet X. If you don't know what Planet X is, because there's some people, like I'm actually reading right now, we're live in the chat. There's some people like that are my friends, and they're probably like, what the hell is David talking about right now? You know, it's funny because I do this for a living, and then like yesterday, and I'm going to answer 2 questions while I'm looking this up to show people about Planet X. So I go to a couple barbecues yesterday for July 4th, one with all my old high school friends, and they're all like, dude, you're like crazy, man. You're doing all this crazy stuff on the internet. You know, it's like, I grew up with all these guys, you know, and they're like, what are you doing? Like, what do you talk about? Like, how do you make your money? Like, how do you, like it's just like, people like think I'm crazy. Like, where I come from, people think I'm crazy. They like see me on Facebook talking about Planet X and, you know, positivity and Mercury and all this crazy shit, right? And it's like, you know, it's like kind of funny to see when I see them look at this, and then it's like people are asking me about Planet X, like, you know, and they're like, what the hell is that? What the hell is Nibiru and all that crap? So here, let's take a little look here. So there's some people who say that Planet X is linked to, I guess you could say, whenever there's a mass extinction on the planet. Some people think Planet X as well is when there's this highly evolved race that rules the earth, and when they come back around to check up on everyone and do their bidding, or that it holds also, because I'm going to take this to another level here, okay? This is the level I'm going to take it. When it comes to Nibiru, when it comes to Planet X, you got to think of it like this. Every planet is a form of consciousness, okay? Now, Mars is our ego and our drive and our ambition and our wants and our needs and our sexual desires. Mercury is our way to communicate and express ourselves and to think quick and to figure things out. But when you take Planet X, it's unknown because there is a part of our psyche that has changed over the last, I would say, 5.5 years since 2012. that is still unknown to us and foreign and quote unquote alien. Now, I believe that Planet X will be some sort of planet that will hold the keys to a higher dimensional race that has created and been part of the creation of this world and the human being. And we're close to understanding what that is, but I feel like a lot of the information out there is still all bogus and bullshit. Like, personally, I think a lot of people try to make money off this shit. Like, I try at least to make money off, like, facts, okay? I know Mercury's coming into Leo today, and I'll talk about that. I can't tell you that Planet X is moving into a sign. I can't tell you that Planet X is here. I have no valid information that shit exists. But I can come from an astrologer standpoint and say, Planet X is definitely out there because I know that there's a form in our consciousness about a higher version of creator. Okay, so we were talking about God earlier, okay? So put God up here. Who knows how many creators come under God? Okay? It's a free will universe, right? How far are we down the chicken before the egg kind of aspect, And that creator and that energy, and maybe it's just a planet that will have artifacts or things that show the way. But I know that there is a planet out there, and I think that we can use the term Planet X or Nibiru, and I don't think it's as scary as everybody thinks. Anytime there's something out there about fear and it's truly unknown what the planet is or anything, it's bogus because it's fear and it's from the dark side. Of course, the dark side wants you to believe that there's some planet out there that's going to come and destroy the earth. That's a great way to scare people. So people that believe in Planet X destroying people have fallen into the trap of fear. And putting that not only in the subconscious of human beings and the DNA of the children that they have and everything else, but putting that in the subconscious of our collective, which I'm about illuminating the collective consciousness. That's what I'm all about here. And every time somebody believes in something that hasn't been proven, hasn't been shown, and has fear in it, is basically throwing shit in the can when we don't need more shit in the can, when it's not even real. So, Dustin says Planet X is supposedly causing global warming. I mean, who knows? I mean, I'll be honest with you, when I do all my research on global warming, I mean, it's been an up and down cycle. I don't think we can pinpoint it on anything. I mean, the sun's the one that keeps heating up, and its whole job is to heat up until it burns out and dies. That's a part of this all. But we don't have enough information, and I think it's a subconscious part of our soul that we cannot be fearful of a planet that's here to destroy us. I mean, it sounds like it's the fucking Death Star out of Star Wars. Like, come on. Like, there is no Death Star out there that's on its way in our orbit to destroy Earth. Like, the creators that built this would be a little bit more, I think, sophisticated than that, personally. You know what I mean? But I appreciate the question, and I think it's a great debate, and I think it's a good topic to bring up. But if it's attached to fear, I wouldn't buy it. Like the Iraqi dinar, I was doing readings all through 2013, 2014, right? All these people were talking about the Iraqi dinar. You're going to make a lot of money. And everybody was approaching me because they thought I had a lot of money at the time, which I didn't. You know what I mean? I didn't have shit. I was like, I remember I didn't make shit, but they, for some reason, thought I had like 20 grand to invest in Iraqi dinar. And back in 2013 and 14, I did not. But I remember being like, okay, let's think about this. And they were like making me all scared. Like, the dollar's going to crash. The Iraqi dinar is going to be huge. Why do you think why do you think America went into Iraq and they're changing the dinar? Buy 20 grand in dinar and it will turn into $350 million. I'm like, right. And be careful because the dollar is going to go down so bad and you're not going to do this. Everybody's freaking out. I had a reading today with somebody. They were like, well, don't you think that the whole economy is going to crash and the money and da-da-da? I'm like, no. Pluto with Capricorn. at the top of, it's got to go all the way to the top before it falls. There's a lot more Capricorn to go for Pluto before it falls. Capricorn sheep do not fall, okay? Takes a lot for them to fall. They have to die in order to fall. So those claws are about to get more strong. There is no such thing as a crash coming right now. I think a lot of people are predicting a crash. I actually predict quite the opposite. Anyway, I'm going to roll. It's been a little bit too long. I got the uncut to do, and I got 2 other videos to record, but it's been so much fun talking with you all today. Remember, I want you all to remember what I'm doing right now. If you want to be part of Leo King Elite, please go to the website. We start school next week. It's a 4-week course. You can get in. You can make payment plans with us. Talk to us. Email us, leokingelite.com. And, of course, if you want to go to find out more about July, my awesome July 2017 webinar, the download of it, it's an hour-plus video. You just buy it. You watch it. It's awesome. All about manifesting your dreams through July and how it's the catalyst to it all. Thanks so much for all your support. I truly appreciate it. Thank you for being a part of the Leo King app. If you're part of the Leo King app, I truly appreciate it all. And I will see you all on the next time I'm live, or hopefully I'll see you tomorrow on the app if you got it, theleokingapp.com. Take care. Talk to you later.
The Leo King app is the world's first and leading video and notification astrology horoscope app for iPhone, Android, and computer. Get daily spiritual videos and addictingly accurate notifications alongside weekly sun sign horoscopes, tarot videos, and exciting new age entertainment videos by celebrity astrologer and TV personality David Palmer, the Leo King. Join today. You have nothing to lose with a 7-day free trial and wake up to astrology like you've never seen before.
Wake up to astrology like you've never seen before.